300 people attended my funeral. The casket was empty. White lilies flooded the altar, the air thick with perfume and pretense. My face, airbrushed and angelic, smiled from blown-up portraits flanking the stage. Eleanor Wilson, beloved daughter, tragically gone at 22. The slideshow played clips from my childhood, piano recitals, awkward braces, hollow laughter. My parents stood center stage, dabbing fake tears, their sorrow choreographed to perfection. They had pulled it off. The grieving act, the eulogies, the donations, the $2 million life insurance payout, and I watched it all from a tinted car across the street, invisible behind sunglasses and a scarf, a ghost attending her own farewell. No one knew I'd found the burner phone, the emails, the affair. No one knew I'd followed them to that cabin in the woods, that I'd heard them rehearsing my death. They thought I'd burned with the car, that no one would question the charred remains they planted, but ashes don't lie, and neither do I, because if there's one thing the dead can do better than the living, it's haunt. They thought I was gone forever. They were wrong. It started with a locked drawer in my father's study, the one he always kept a little too guarded. Curiosity wasn't new to me, but that night something felt off. I picked the lock with the thin file I kept hidden in my sleeve, the way I'd practiced 100 times just for fun. Inside, I found the papers. A $2 million life insurance policy. In my name. Signed 2 weeks ago. The air left the room. At first, I thought it was a mistake, a morbid precaution. But the unease settled deeper when I noticed the beneficiary names, Mom and Dad. Not even a hint of pretense. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I was halfway down the stairs when I heard them in the kitchen, whispering, "She's gone next weekend. We'll stage the crash. Sunday night. No body, just the fire. We've got the dental records. You sure she doesn't suspect?" I clutched the stair rail to stay upright. My knees had gone numb. By midnight, I had emptied the hidden envelope in my trust lockbox. Just over $5,000 in cash, enough to disappear if I was smart. I stuffed it into my backpack along with a burner phone and my passport. I left without a note. No tears. No goodbye. I didn't know then that by morning I'd be declared dead. And I didn't know how long I could stay hidden or what I'd do if they ever found me. But I knew one thing with terrifying certainty. The people who raised me had planned my death. Like a business deal. And that meant I'd never be safe again. The name on the intake form was Lena Voss. Age 22. No emergency contact. It didn't take long to learn how to survive in the shelter. Keep your shoes on when you sleep. Never let anyone know you have cash. And trust no one, especially not the ones who smile too much. I told them I aged out of foster care, that I had nowhere else to go, close enough to believable. Every day I'd walk to the public library and claim one of the old desktop computers. At first, I just needed something to do, something that didn't make me feel like I was disappearing. Then I found a free online course in Python. I didn't understand a word, but I stayed with it. Line by line, I started teaching myself to code. It gave me purpose. It gave me power. I spent 6 months sleeping in a cot, surrounded by strangers. 6 months eating whatever was hot and free. 6 months building a logistics app I called Thread, designed to help small businesses manage shipping routes more efficiently. It wasn't flashy, but it worked. A mid-tier tech firm bought it for $800,000. I stared at the wire transfer notification for an hour. I was sitting on the same library computer where I'd first Googled what is an algorithm. My parents bought a yacht with my death payout. I bought my future, a new apartment, a new laptop, a name I chose for myself. Lena Voss wasn't a lie anymore. She was the version of me I built from the ashes. Some nights, I still have dreams about the fire, about the bones they claimed were mine. But I don't wake up screaming. I wake up ready, because I didn't just survive. I rewrote the code, and the next version of me, she doesn't run, she hunts. It started quietly, no headlines, no fanfare. Lena Voss was invisible, and that was exactly how I wanted it. Over the course of a year, I built shell companies like nesting dolls, each one folded into another, obscuring the trail. Through them, I acquired the unpaid debts my parents had racked up in the wake of their loss. Property liens, overdue loans, even the mortgage on the house where they staged my disappearance. I became their silent creditor. Every dollar they owed whispered my name. But money wasn't the point. I wanted erosion, slow and maddening. On the anniversary of my death, they received a bouquet of white lilies on their doorstep, no sender, no card, just a funeral program identical to the one they handed out a year ago, except this one had a handwritten note. Still watching. Each year, I sent another gift. Year 2, a key to a burned-out car. Year 3, a necklace I used to wear, left on my mother's pillow. And this year, I sent something smaller. Colder. A single silver dollar. The exact amount they paid the coroner to look the other way. By now, they've started unraveling. My mother sees me in crowds. My father installed 6 new security cameras and still sleeps with the lights on. The guilt is catching up to them, curling around their perfect lives like smoke. They can't prove I'm alive, but they're no longer sure I'm dead. And that's the game. Because revenge doesn't always come with blood and fire. Sometimes it's the slow drip of dread. The thought that your sins aren't buried with the dead. They're walking around, watching, waiting. Their empire was built on my ashes, but the shadow that's tearing it down, that's all me. The ballroom glittered with chandeliers and champagne. Laughter echoed off marble walls, and silk masks turned familiar faces into strangers. My sister's wedding was the event of the season, a masquerade ball at the most exclusive hotel in the city. My hotel. No one knew, of course. I'd acquired the chain 2 years ago under an alias, just another move in the empire I'd quietly built. Tonight, I slipped through the crowd in a midnight blue gown and a feathered mask, invisible in plain sight. Guests smiled politely, not realizing the dead girl was sipping rosé beside them. At the center of it all stood my father, tuxedoed, confident, and utterly hollow. He raised his glass as the room hushed. "To my only daughter," he said, beaming at the bride, "the one who brought us back to life after so much loss." The words landed like a blade. Around me, guests nodded sympathetically, unaware that the girl they mourned was still breathing. I tilted my glass to my lips, watching him. He didn't recognize the eyes behind the mask. Not yet. But tonight was just the rehearsal. A silent curtain raiser. Because I didn't come back to haunt them. I came back to end the show. The night unraveled faster than I planned. By the third champagne flute, my mother was swaying, her laughter a little too loud, her mask askew. She clutched the arm of a socialite, eyes glassy, voice thick with nostalgia and gin. "We did what we had to," she slurred. "You think losing a child ruins you? Try living under debt. Try scraping together pennies while your daughter plays piano like it matters." The woman blinked, confused. I thought your daughter died in an accident?" My mother smiled, crooked, hollow. "Of course she did." I stood at the edge of the dance floor, heartbeat calm. This was the moment I'd waited for. Proof whispered in the haze of her guilt. I stepped forward, the room slowing as I made my way to the head table. My father looked up as I approached, irritation flickering across his face. "This area is for family," he snapped. I reached up and removed the mask. Silence fell like thunder. My mother gasped, stumbling back into her chair. My sister dropped her champagne flute. "You sold me for $2 million, I said, voice steady, slicing through the silence. I leaned in slightly, meeting my father's stunned stare. "I'm worth $1 billion now." No one moved, no one spoke, and just like that, the ashes came alive. The morning after the wedding, headlines exploded. "Dead heiress returns. Wilson Empire shaken by fraud allegations." I held the press conference in the lobby of the very hotel where it all fell apart. Cameras flashed, lawyers flanked me, my voice didn't shake once. "I now own 51% of Wilson Holdings," I said, "acquired legally, quietly, and strategically over the last 3 years." The room erupted. Behind closed doors, I gave my parents 2 choices. Admit to the insurance fraud, the fake death, the bribes, and face prison, or sign over their remaining shares and disappear. They signed, shaking, silent. No crocodile tears this time. I didn't do it for revenge anymore. That part of me burned away the night I realized survival was a better weapon than hate. Then came the final twist. I transferred the entire company to my sister. She was the only one who ever slipped food under my door when I was sick, the only one who cried real tears at my funeral. "I didn't know," she whispered when I told her. "I know," I said. "That's why it's yours now." She tried to hug me. I let her for a second. Then I turned and walked away, leaving ashes, ghosts, and a billion-dollar empire behind me. I wasn't just back, I was free. "Dead heiress topples. Family empire." The headline ran for weeks, my name reborn in bold font and scandal. They called me a phantom, a mastermind, a myth. The media spun my story into a cautionary tale, a revenge fantasy with a billion-dollar ending. They didn't know the half of it. My parents vanished from the public eye, their yacht sold, their mansion repossessed. No one cried for them. My sister took the reins of Wilson Holdings and turned it into something better, honest, ethical, transparent. I watched from afar, smiling quietly at the irony. I never reclaimed my old name. Eleanor Wilson was a girl who trusted too easily and died for it. Lena Voss? She built an empire from shadows. I don't attend galas or give interviews. I don't bask in fame or fortune. I invest. I building. I buy broken things and make them stronger. I walk into rooms where no one knows they tried to bury me once. Let them think I'm a ghost. After all, some ghosts don't haunt houses. We buy them.